Hello student, welcome you all in our class and we will learn about the adverse events. So a trial of the drug on a human participant must have a record not only of the effectiveness of the drug but also of its safety profile as toxicity outweigh the benefit risk ratio, making drug unsuitable for the human use. So adverse reaction may be spontaneously reported by participants to an attending physician, elicited by the investigator during the trial or laboratory related. So such reaction may also be attributed to the drug after the completion of the trial. In all such scenario, the investigator is responsible for medical care of the trial participant and also ethically bound to report the event to all the stakeholders of the clinical trial. So the trial sponsor is responsible for ongoing safety evaluation of an investigational product and reporting and compensating the participant in case of any serious adverse event. So the ethical committee and regulating body of the country are to uphold the ethical principle of beneficence, justice and non-maleficence in such cases. So thus to be ethical while conducting trial as investigator or evaluating the safety report as an ethical committee member, it is pertinent to understand the various terminologies used in the safety reporting requirement of adverse reactions, responsibility of the various stakeholders in the trial, causality assessment of an adverse reaction, and guideline of the compensation in the case of a severe adverse event. So in the previous classes, we learned about the different types of clinical trials. That is phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, as well as the placebo effect. So today's lecture objective is adverse event, suspected adverse reaction, adverse drug reaction, unexpected adverse event, serious adverse event, life-threatening conditions, endpoint, and objective versus subjective endpoints, as well as the surrogate endpoint. Let's examine the adverse drug reaction and adverse event. Uh, Actually, a drug is formulated and developed to act as a target that in the body system. So when a drug which is developed to act at a target, but if it doesn't act on the target and it act on the other side, apart from the target side, then it can generate a adverse reaction, or it is also called the side effect of the drug. So we can see an example of antihistamine drug which is taken for the allergic condition, for example cetirizine, that provide reliefs from the sneezing and cause drowsiness also. So after taking this medication, a patient can feel calm or it can be relaxing. So, for example, medicinal product, which is every medicinal product has a desired effect as well as an undesired effect. The desired effect is also called therapeutic effect, and undesired effect you can call it the adverse effect. So, adverse drug reaction is an undesired reaction caused by a medicinal product which is occurred with the administration of a single dose or prolonged administration of a drug. So it results from the combination of two or more drugs. We will see the example of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, also called NSAID in a short form. It has a therapeutic effect and often prescribed for the treatment of the inflammation, fever and the pain. But it, apart from their therapeutic effect, it has some adverse effect like stomach irritation and bleeding when prescribed. So non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug is actually reducing the production of an chemical prostaglandins. The prostaglandin has a important role in the homeostasis. Actually, this chemical produced in the body system and it protects the digestive system from the acid, stomach acid. So adverse event may means any untoward medical occurrence associated with the of a drug in a human, whether or not considered uh, drug related. So an adverse event also referred as a adverse experience and can be any unfavorable and unintended signs, for example, an abnormal laboratory finding, symptoms, or disease temporarily associated with the use of a drug and does not imply any judgment about the causality or relationship to the drug. So an adverse event can arise with any use of the drug. Example of level use in the combination with the another drug and with any route of the administration, any formulation or the dose including an overdose. So it indicate a change in the subject health status since baseline right before taking the study the drug. So when toxicity of a study drug is a hypothesis, you will see on the calendar a baseline physical exam to be completed either at day 0 or day 5 prior to the dosing. So baseline would include all the uh, pre-existing conditions that are ongoing during the clinical trial, including hypertension, diabetes. So concomitant medications taken prior to the participation in the clinical trial, that is anticoagulant to prevent the thrombosis, steroid for the autoimmune conditions. So, for example, the adverse event which is not related to or which is not caused in our body, the study drug, but it if they occur while the subject is on study, it would have to be collected, reviewed by the principal investigator and tracked. So, for example, transfusion reaction, accidental injury, and surgery is happen with the subject, then it is the susceptible for the adverse event. Adverse reaction means any adverse event caused by a drug. So adverse reaction are a subset of all suspected adverse reactions where there is a reason to conclude that the drug caused the event. The adverse drug reaction common in patient with the kidney disorder. Actually, three drug classes which is responsible for the 40% of adverse reactions, that is RAS inhibitors, antithrombotic agents and diuretics. The antithrombotic agent cause 34% of serious adverse reactions and 32% of total adverse reaction considered preventable. And here we can see that the adverse drug reaction is a subset of adverse drug event, and the adverse drug event is also a subset of adverse event. So adverse event is a broad term that includes the adverse drug event as well as the ADR, which is a adverse drug reaction. When the harm occurred during the treatment with a drug, it is called the adverse event. When harm caused by the drug application, it will be called as adverse drug event. And when the harm caused by the drug itself at normal dose, it belongs to the adverse drug reaction. So you can see here, and this picture can clear your concept about the adverse event, adverse drug event, and adverse drug reactions. The suspected adverse reaction means any adverse event for which there is a reasonable possibility that the drug caused the adverse event. For the purpose of IND safety reporting, reasonable possibility means there is evidence to suggest a causal relationship between the drug and the adverse event. A suspected adverse reaction imply a lesser degree of certainty about the causality than adverse reactions, which means any adverse event caused by a drug. So within the reporting requirement under 21 CFR, FDA make clear the meaning of reasonable possibility by providing the following example of types of event that would suggest a causal relationship between the drug and the adverse event. A single occurrence of an event that is uncommon and known to be strongly associated with the drug exposure. For example, angioedema, hepatic injury, as well as Stevens-Johnson syndrome. So one or more occurrence of an event that is not commonly associated with the drug exposure but is otherwise uncommon in the population exposed to the drug. So an aggregate analysis of the specific event observed in a clinical trial, such as known consequences of the underlying disease or condition under investigation or other event that commonly occur in the study population, independent of the drug therapy, that indicate those events occur more frequently in the drug treatment group than in the co-occurrent of the historical control group. Unexpected adverse event can be defined as an adverse event or suspected adverse reaction is considered unexpected if it is not listed in the investigator brochure or is not listed at the specificity or severity that has been observed, or if an investigator brochure is not required or available, it is not consistent with the risk information described in the general investigator plan or elsewhere in the current application as amended. So this means the event not listed for the particular drug under the investigation in the investigator brochure are considered unexpected, and those listed are considered expected. So some example of unexpected adverse event is a hepatic necrosis that would be unexpected by virtue of the greater severity if the investigator brochure only referred to elevated hepatic enzyme or hepatitis. So another example is cerebral thromboembolism, and several vascularities would be unexpected by virtue of greater specificity. If the investigator brochure only listed a cerebral vascular accident When a new adverse event information is received, it is the sponsor responsibility to determine whether the event is unexpected for IND safety reporting purpose. In the clinical trial setting, there has been some confusion with the term expected, as it has been used to mean anticipated for the disease being treated or population being studied rather than listed in the investigational brochure. For example, some adverse event can be anticipated to occur as a result of a disease or in an older population. For example, cancer-related death in a cancer trial, strokes, acute myocardial infarctions in an older population. However, for reporting purpose, these anticipated events are not expected because they are not listed in the investigator brochure. That is, the drug is not suspected or known to cause them. The serious adverse event is an adverse event that results in death. That is also poses a life-threatening conditions that place the subject at immediate risk of death from the event as it occurred. So result also in inpatient's hospital or prolongation of existing hospitalization. Any adverse event that result in a persistent or significant disability or incapacity of the patients. The adverse event that also result in a congenital anomaly or birth defect, or it also based on the appropriate medical judgment that jeopardize the subject health and may require medical or surgical intervention to prevent one of the other outcome listed in this definition. The picture illustrates the timeline of the safety reporting in the case of a serious adverse event. So after onset of serious adverse event, within 24 hours of the onset of SAE, this is the responsibility of principal investigator to prepare a report and submit this report to the chairman of ethical committee, also to the sponsor if it is relevant, and a report will be also submitted to the licensing authority DCGI. The final report has been prepared by both principal investigator and sponsors, and this report has been submitted to the licensing authority, chairman of ethical committee, and the head of the institution. So the expert committee appointed by the DCGI examined the report of SAE and the recommendation to the licensing authority DCGI within 30 days, and the DCGI gives the final decision including compensation amount if any. It will take approximately 150 days of the occurrence of SAE. So sponsor or his representative makes the final payment. It will also take about 30 days of the receipt of DCGI order. A life-threatening condition can be defined when any adverse experience that placed the subject in the view of the investigator at immediate risk of the death from the reaction as it occurred, or it is suspected that the use or continued use of the product would result in the patient death. So an adverse event or suspected adverse reaction is considered life-threatening if in the view of either the investigator or the sponsor. So its occurrence places the patient or subject at immediate risk of death. So it does not include an adverse event or suspected adverse reaction that had it occurred in a more severe form and might have caused the death. So for example, hemorrhage condition and internal bleeding with the rapid drop in blood pressure can be considered as a life-threatening condition. Another example is loss of consciousness from increase in the pressure on the brain is also considered in the life-threatening condition. Now we will learn about the endpoints. So in a general sense, a clinical endpoint is included in the entities of interest in a trial. The result of clinical trial generally indicate the number of people enrolled who reach the predetermined clinical endpoint during the study interval compared with the overall number of people who have enrolled. So once a patient reaches the endpoint, he or she is generally excluded from further experimental interventions. So for example, an clinical trial investigating the ability of a medication to prevent a heart attack might use chest pain as a clinical endpoint. So any patient enrolled in the trial who developed chest pain over the course of the trial then would be counted as the having reached the clinical endpoint. So the result would immediately reflect the fraction of patients who reach the end point of having developed chest pain compared with the overall number of people enrolled. The clinical trial phase will still focus to a specific type of endpoints. So endpoint choice will enhance scientific information to be gained. Endpoint may address a variety of the process, treatment effort on the physiology, cell biology and target engagement, safety and tolerability, efficacy. The clinical meaningful endpoint can measure how the study participant feel, function and survive. It may be incorporated into any clinical phase of the development and it is an important basis for the drug approval. Now we will observe the objective versus subjective endpoint. So objective endpoint may be clinical event, changes in disease status and survival. The subjective endpoint are symptom score and quality of life score. Clinical endpoint can be obtained from different modality such as behavior or cognition score or biomarker from electroencephalography, MRI, PET or biochemical biomarker. So what is a surrogate endpoint? A surrogate endpoint is a laboratory measure or a physical sign that is intended to be used as a substitute for a clinically meaningful endpoint. Changes induced by a therapy or a surrogate endpoint are expected to reflect the changes in a clinically meaningful endpoint. This expectation must be supported by strong data validation. So in clinical trial, an indicator or sign used in the place of another to tell if a treatment works. So surrogate endpoint includes shrinking tumor or lower biomarker level. So they may be used instead of the stronger indication such as longer survival or improved quality of the life because the result of the trial can be measured sooner. So the use of surrogate endpoint in the clinical trial may allow earlier approval of new drug to treat the serious or life-threatening disease such as cancer. So surrogate endpoint are not always true indicator or sign of how well a treatment works. So these are the references. You can refer this article for the better understanding and explanation. So today's summary lecture is we know about the adverse event. We have analyzed about the suspected adverse reactions, unexpected adverse event, serious adverse event, life-threatening conditions, endpoint, surrogate endpoints, etc. So our lecture has been finished today and I am giving you some question for the practice. So you have to explain these questions by searching the internet and refer to the some research paper and review paper. So first is discuss about the adverse event. So you have to explain the suspected adverse reaction. You should describe the serious adverse event. So you outline the life-threatening conditions and examine the significance of surrogate endpoint. So thank you for the listening.